Hello and welcome to Shanty Shop Mechanic. My name is Paddy. This week I'm going to be delving into this vintage Rideon that I got going in 2019. However, it was pretty problematic with it shredding belts all the time. So I'm going to get it started up again, see if I can resolve the issues that I had ignored. And of course to get grass cut in December, because that's the perfect time to do this. Hey, got it on the operating table eventually, so just give you a little walk around it. It's in really good condition. There's no rust on the deck or the body itself either. And I did put new tyres on it in 2019. But a surface rust, the usual kind of thing that you'd expect. Just a bit tatty, but yeah, just needs a bit of a clean up. The seat being the most weathered looking. Show you the engine, as you can see on the bonnet. It is a 8 horsepower. It's flathead Briggs and Stratton. Got this engine serviced in 2019. I replaced the coil in it with an electronic coil as opposed to the original plugs and points system. Reason being, it was a lot more reliable. Didn't have to go fiddling around with plugs and points. And I'm going to leave a part number for the electronic coil that I used, put it on, and yeah, it'll just make your life so much easier. Thankfully, Yardman's in for the wisdom. They actually put a plastic fuel tank in this thing. That means I don't have to worry about rust, hopefully. I'm going to drop the bowl, put it back together, put some petrol in it, but we know how that goes. Oh yeah, that's just a teaser for what's about to happen. That bowl, I can guarantee you, is very crusty. Oh wow. That's a good one there. That's what happens when you don't drain the fuel and you let the ethanol fester. To give you context on the ethanol issue and fuel, this thing went from 1998 when it was parked up to 2019 and the carb was perfectly clean to 2019 to 2024. In just 5 years, having ethanol in the petrol just completely gummed up this carb. Ethanol has some negative effects on carbs when they're sitting around. All the reason for ethanol. Not to worry though, we can get this cleaned out, get the new fuel flowing through. So I poured about 2 litres in and nothing is coming out. Just wedging something in to push out this. Need to make sure not to lose the needle. Definitely a lot of build up there for sure. Even with the needle removed, there's still very poor flow. As the petrol is slowly dripping out, you can see the water droplets, so there's quite a lot of water drawn into this fuel tank. Okay, I'm having some real issues with this. I really jinxed myself on this fuel tank. I have this fuel tank brimmed and there's nothing flowing out, so there's something majorly blocking this up. So, I have my ingenious idea here of having my air compressor hooked up to the hose. Hopefully this will be able to shoot enough air into the tank and clear that blockage. Wish me luck. Oh, excellent. It seems to be working. See if any fuel flows. No. I'm not a genius after all. It works. I am a genius. Now we're talking. You can see underneath it has a chain drive, and despite it being 1979, it actually has a disc brake. So, very fancy, but the main area of concern here would be the pulley wheels. As you might have seen from the thumbnail, it's a bit of a belt shredder 9000, so I need to be able to clean off the pulley wheels. This is the gearbox drive pulley wheel here, and then, so you can see there's quite a good bit of surface rust, and you can even hear it in my fingers. That's going to be having a pretty negative effect on the belt, so that needs to be resolved. 4 pulleys, 3 being up there, with the crank pulley being one of them as well, and then the second belt pulley wheel up here too. I'm going to remove this deck so I can access both types of pulley wheels. So it's just 3 clips like this one, one here, one on the other side, as you can see where the screwdriver is touching, and so just that one there. Pop 3 of them off. Butterfingers. finally. With the deck removed, I've sanded down and painted lightly a thin film of paint around the pulley, and it's left quite a smooth area. Just a very thin film. I know there's one or two spots where it's not painted, but it is very smooth to the touch, which is the more important aspect. Now, do I think that the belt spinning around the pulleys will eventually wear that paint off? Yeah, probably. But it's just mainly to create that little bit of a layer of protection on that belt, and also to stop the pulleys from flat rusting and then creating that coarse feeling on the metal. The process involved with cleaning and painting these pulley wheels isn't super exciting, so I'll just show you the process involved with one of them, it being the drive pulley wheel, as it is the largest one and the most easiest to view. Just using my finger to press the sandpaper in and then run it along. Go over it a few more times, just clean it up and paint it. Why am I doing this like a caveman? Hold on a minute. So much better. Slowly getting there. So as I said, just a nice thin film of paint will be just applied onto these pulleys. Rinse and repeat with the rest of the pulleys and leave it to dry. It's the next day and I forgot to mention that I had fitted a new fuel line to it and all the pulleys are dry. You can see it's just a nice smooth finish to it, and yeah, that's really it. For any eagle-eyed viewers, you can see a blue tint to the ceiling of the body, and that is actually the remnants of the previous belt, completely caked in belt dust. So this is the bracket here which covers this pulley wheel up here where my finger is. That was binding up there and it was just completely ruining the belts. We're putting this bracket back on so it doesn't do the same thing. Definitely need to sort that out. I'm going to start with fitting the deck belt. Simple. A lot easier doing it on top of the mower as opposed to being underneath it. Onto the drive belt. I may have said two birds with one stone here. While I was looking at the blade, it looks quite dull. I could do it a bit of a run down with the angle grinder. Put the goggles on and get grinding. Looking 100 times better now. Now to do the next one. Using my work on mowers or other equipment, you might be wondering why I haven't taken the blade off. Well, in 2019 it was quite difficult for me to take it off, so I can't imagine it's going to be any easier right now. So while it's there staring at me, I might as well just do it. Just trying to feed the drive belt up, but it needs to go up to the top drive wheel here, and then I need to feed the belt over this bar into these two pulleys, and then all the way back to the drive wheel there. Give us a few minutes and I should have it sorted. And you can see it's on both sides, the irony of all the belt dust around it too. I have the belt hooked up to all pulley wheels and it's as untensioned as possible. I'm trying with the will of Zeus at the moment to do this and it's not working. Wrong bloody belt. Excuse me while I go over here and cry. I've done all this work so far, but I haven't actually turned the engine over. So there's a bit of oil and the carb is somewhat clean. I can imagine I'll have to go through that again. And yeah, let's just hook it up to the battery pack and see if it cranks over. I'll try and jump solenoid here. Doesn't seem to work from the key anyway. I have to dig into that. Yeah, the fuel was off. Okay, let's try this time like I know what I'm doing. Take 412. Let's see without the filter. Oh my god, Patrick. Fuel line is still off. Idiot. What is wrong with you? Just give that a few seconds. Talk amongst yourselves. Still nothing. Okay, I have adjusted the air fuel mixture screw. Let's see if it does anything. It's got plenty of compression. I'm going to take the spark plug out and see what that looks like. Doesn't really smell like petrol at all. But it is quite damp. So I'm just going to turn the engine over with the spark plug off and then see if it can actually draw in some proper petrol. Revs down, revs up. Nice. Brand new air filter I bought that did about 2 or 3 hours of work before and after. Yeah, I swear it is cleaner in person. Apply a thin layer of oil on it. The foam is what holds the oil and the oil is what traps the dirt as it passes through. Ready to go back on? I will admit, I did have a sneaking suspicion that the solenoid was going to be bad, so I did preemptively buy a new solenoid. So I'll fit this on. New solenoid installed. Let's see what happens. Excellent. Let's get this thing buttoned up and out there. Yeah guys, I didn't have the mental strength to show you the damage I caused, but I will show you the major repair I had to do. Remember that operating table it was on? Yeah, it fell off when inspecting underneath it, landed on its front right wheel, which caused the steering shaft to move left to right violently, and thus shattered the plastic dashboard, making the steering impossible. So that was a day trying to JB weld and fiberglass it back on. Oh boy, how did that happen? See how far I get with that. Damn. Yeah, this machine just pumps out content for me, really. I think I'm going to call it for this video though, guys. I have a few bits and pieces I need to wrap up with this more before it's 100%. I think it might be the last owner with this thing, because you certainly need a lot of patience with it, that's for sure. So if you like what you saw, give us a like or a share. Got a lot of things coming up for 2025. A lot more car related content, not just the small engine stuff. So join me in that. Thank you.